We haven't eaten in 3 days. Please, I'll clean your cabin for food. This frozen Hell's Angels snow hammered the tin roof of the outpost like 1,000 small fists when 2 real ones tapped the steel door. Miles Forge Calder set his chipped mug down and opened up. In the spill of blizzard light stood 2 girls in threadbare coats, Nora maybe 10, Piper 6, breath fogging quick as sparrow wings. We haven't eaten in 3 days, Nora said, shoulders squared like someone twice her age. We'll scrub floors for food. Please. Our mom's dying. The shop went quiet. Boone's hand stalled over a carburetor. Ivy's jaw softened. Deacon's boots stilled mid-thud. What's your mom's name? Forge's voice stayed steady. Janelle Hart. We live in the storage units by the rail spur. The man said no heat unless we pay. Forge's jaw set. He shrugged off his jacket, wrapped Piper in it until she looked like a small, brave comet. Nobody freezes on our watch. Show us. Before we ride, tell me where in the world you're watching from. Drop your city, country in the comments. It helps this story find more people. And if you feel this already, subscribe to Biker's Hype. Hit like. Share it with one friend who believes in doing the right thing. Engines woke like thunder in a canyon. The convoy rolled out in a tight diamond, snow biting at tires. Ivy up front in the van with the girls, heater roaring, hands guided to warmth. Northbridge flats flickered past, boarded diner windows, a church bulb burning faint as a tired star. Take the spur past the water tower, Nora said, palms flat to the glass. Piper counted her breaths. 4. 5. Mommy's favorite number is 5. The unit's corrugated mouth gaped rust and cold. A single candle guttered inside. Janelle lay on a pallet of blankets, lips blue, cough scraping. Diesel and the tang of cold metal stung the air. Pulses weak, Deacon murmured, sliding an oxygen mask over chapped lips. Ivy tucked heat packs under Janelle's arms, voice a low river. Stay with me, Mama. Warmth is coming. Who put you here? Forge asked softly. Vern Pike, Nora whispered. He runs the storage. And the Elk Lantern Motel. Says Mom's bad credit means no heat at either. Sirens would skate and skid on ice tonight. The Angels ran their own rescue. They moved like a practiced hymn. Lift, wrap, breathe. The convoy carved white scars through the storm to Northbridge Urgent Care. Dr. Lawson burst through the doors with 2 nurses, faces wind-burned, hands ready. We'll warm her slow. No shock, Lawson said, already moving as if the blizzard were just loud wallpaper. Nora paused on the threshold, pride and fear warring. Do we owe you? Forge shook his head. You owe us breakfast someday. Piper tugged his sleeve. We don't have a kitchen. He exhaled. Then we'll build one. Under fluorescence, leather steamed dry. Ivy braided Piper's hair with a spare shoelace. Nora stared at the vending machine like it was a cathedral. Lawson stepped out, beard thawing. She's fighting. Hypothermia, pneumonia, dehydration. But she's made of grit. Nora folded into a chair and sobbed silent, grateful tears. Can she have soup? Piper whispered. Soon, Lawson smiled. Forge's eyes hardened again. Who's Vern Pike? Railspur Storage, the motel. 3 foreclosed river duplexes. Nora said carefully, like she'd practiced telling the truth and not being believed. He locks the thermostats, sells blankets by the hour. Boone swore. Ivy stood. That isn't business, that's cruelty. Forge nodded once. Nobody profits off freezing kids. Boone, call the county inspector. Ivy, text Pastor Ray at Coldwater Chapel. Deacon, inventory every heater we've got. We open the hall if we have to. Outside, snow kept falling. Inside, the storm started to choose a direction. By dawn, a pale sun saw Janelle sleeping under warm air blankets, color threading back into her cheeks. The girls ate oatmeal at Switchback Garage, now a makeshift kitchen. Ivy stirred a giant pot. Deacon fixed a heater with a butter knife and faith. Is this your house? Piper asked. Kinda, Ivy grinned. Our winter nest. Why help us? Nora asked Forge. watching him measure salt like it might save a life. Because a long time ago, he said, someone kept me from freezing on a Wyoming road. He never asked why. He handed me a thermos and said, live long enough to make this mean something. I've been paying that thermos forward ever since. They ate. Steam curled up like prayer. Forge spread a town map on a scarred bench. Pins marked the storage yard, the motel, the river duplexes. Deacon laid down photos, lock boxes drilled into thermostat plates, coin slot space heaters, eviction notices mid-cold snap. He's charging rent on warmth, Ivy said, her voice gone flint. Then we bankrupt the winter, Forge said. Operation full tank, we fill stomachs, then furnaces. Pastor Ray unlocked the chapel. Heat lamps hummed. Tables went long. Chili breathed garlic and cumin under a roof that had heard too many funerals and not enough laughing kids. Donations rolled in. Blankets, infant formula, a generator that coughed then purred like a big grateful cat. No forms, no questions. Take what you need. People came. A tired nurse with frostbit fingers, a line cook with new holes in his belt, 3 families from the river lots. Boone's crew installed CO alarms. Ivy labeled totes by glove sizes in looping Sharpie. Deacon sat. With elders, checked meds, stuck emergency numbers to fridges with stubborn tenderness. Nora ran inventory like an auditor who knew how much an honest number could save. We'll run out, she worried. Forge tilted his chin at the door. A semi rumbled up. Restaurant donation. Not tonight, he said. Not on our watch. Then Vern Pike arrived. He stomped in with 2 rent enforcers and a face that read, I own your winter. His breath sugar bitter with bought power. All of you out, he barked. Can't run a shelter without permits. Pastor, you'll answer for every watt you steal from my grid. Forge stood between Vern and the tables, calm as a winter lake that knows it's deeper than it looks. Your grid? I thought the county owned the sky, Vern sneered. The county belongs to friends. Ivy raised her phone, screen bright with photos Nora had helped her find. Lockboxes, coin slots, eviction dates, and a red ledger. Cash drops labeled VP lined up with dismissed complaints. Friends like the inspector you paid? She said, voice surgical. Something blinked behind Vern's eyes. He looked suddenly like a man standing on a lake that had just groaned. Deacon said, a portable generator humming. We're off your meter. The cord snaked into the hall like a live vein. People's faces, tired, hungry, newly unafraid, tilted toward the sound. Pastor Ray tugged the bell rope. The note rolled down Main Street and woke something stubborn in the bones of the town. Pike hissed. You'll regret this. Maybe, Forge said, but tonight people eat warm. Phones rose. Truth learned how to travel. Sheriff Ken Delaney came through the doors with snow on his coat and a look that said he'd once believed in simpler days. Heard we've got a dispute. Pike surged. Arrest them. Trespass, theft of utilities, conspiracy. Delaney took in the generator, the kids thawing, the soup line that looked like a choir practice of second chances. Ivy held up the ledger and Janelle's hazard reports. Sheriff, you signed off on these inspections. His mouth worked, shame and anger and something like resolve moving across his face. Or my deputy did while I was out on flood duty. He turned to Vern. Vern Pike, you're coming with me for questioning. You've got nothing admissible, Pike spat. Boone grinned, winter cruel. Man, you forged your own rope. A nurse stepped forward. Dr. Lawson authorized me to say we treated multiple cold-related injuries from your properties. BR. Room exhaled like a town learning how to breathe after a long, mean choke. Nora met Forge's eyes. Thank you. He shook his head. You did that. Night laid a soft gray hand over Northbridge Flats. The angels stood outside the chapel, exhaust ghosting like old prayers. Boone reported, State auditors want every log. County's freezing Pike's assets. Ivy smiled sharp. Maybe hell's got heating this winter. We're not done, Forge said. We fix what he broke. Days passed. The hall became a ship in drifted snow, its galley always busy. Kids slid on the ice like it was a dance floor. Piper, the sheriff of joy, badge a paper cup. Janelle sat close to the heater, color back, hands wrapped round a mug that steamed and forgave. Nora arrived at the garage with a dented keyring. I kept these when Mom cleaned rooms, she said, shame flushing her cheeks. Forge knelt. You were protecting your family. Now we protect the whole block. At the Elk Lantern office, they found the truth stacked and rubber-banded, the red notebook, a stapled packet in Janelle's handwriting listing hazards ignored, Deacon photographed thermostat lock codes, and bulk invoices for heat control kits. Ivy uploaded everything to a drive Boone shared with a reporter who still believed ink could be a torch. The second showdown came with less thunder and more paperwork. Delaney read aloud the amounts, the dates, the matched complaints. Some people cried, not for Vern, for the years they'd spent thinking they were alone. Dignity drives, Forge told Ivy later, drawing arrows on a wall map to 6 small towns. Everyone gives, everyone gets. Not charity? She asked. Not charity, he said. A promise kept. By the time Janelle walked unassisted down the clinic hall, Meltwater was already thinking about gutters. The Gazette ran a headline that made Forge grimace and smile at once. Hell's Angels thaw a town's heart. Never thought I'd see our name beside heartwarming. Boone laughed. Don't get used to it, Forge said. We're still us. Just louder about our reasons. When the convoy finally rolled out at dawn, 40 bikes deep, med trailer in tow, blankets bungeed in rows, Piper and Nora held a cardboard sign outside the chapel. Thank you. Hell's Angels. Janelle stood behind them with the most expensive thing in winter, color in her face. Forge throttled down. You 3 stay warm. Nora lifted the steel pendant he'd given her. We will. You keep riding. Always, he said, and for once the word sounded easy. The engines folded into the road's long inhale. Pastor Ray rang the bell. Its tone braided with chrome thunder until they were the same sound. Defiance and gratitude stitched. Far off, the highway opened. Pine flashing like green sparks in rising light. Ivy's voice cracked over comms, half laugh, half prayer. Every town's got a pike. Forge nodded to the wind. Then every town's got us. If this warmed you, subscribe to Biker's Hype, hit like, and share it with someone who needs proof that strangers can still be family. And please comment your city and country. We want to see this map of kindness light up.